So today we're going to talk about the 30, 60, 90 triangles, and if you were to fill out this table, you would find that the ratio is x. This is always double your short leg, and then this one's always the short leg with the quantity of square root of 3 attached. And so what we're going to talk about is in a 30, 60, 90. If you want to find the hypotenuse, you take the short leg to find the hypotenuse. This is called the short leg. You take the short leg times 2. So whatever the short leg is, to find the hypotenuse, you multiply by 2. Keyword multiply. If you want to find the long leg, you multiply the short leg by square root of 3. If you want to find the short leg, you divide the hypotenuse by 2. And if you want to find the short leg, you can divide the long leg by square root of 3. Find the lengths of the missing sides. They tell me this is 90. They tell me that's 60. So by definition, this has to be 30. Because 3 angles add up to 180. 30 plus 60 is 90. 90 plus 90 is 180. So this is a special triangle. Now, to me, it's easiest to identify what is this 5. And this 5 is across from the 30. So we know that this is the short leg. So if this is the short leg, to find the hypotenuse, let's go look. You find the hypotenuse by multiplying the short leg by 2. Here's my short leg. So to find the hypotenuse, which is right here, I would take 5 times 2, which equals 10. So this is 10. This is what we call the long leg. Long leg will always have a radical of 3. How do you find the long leg? Let's go look. You find the long leg by multiplying the short leg by square root of 3. So I need to take 5 times square root of 3. Five times the square root of 3, which is just 5 square root of 3. And I struggle making markings on the computer. But 5 square root of 3 is this one. We have 60, we have 90, that leaves 30 left over, so this is 30. The short leg is always across from 30, so this is my short leg. That's my hypotenuse. And this would be my long leg. So I recommend always finding the short leg first. So we have to take 7, and to find the short leg from the hypotenuse, we could go look. We find the short leg by dividing the hypotenuse by 2. Well, 2 doesn't go into 7, so I'm just going to write that as 7 over 2. You might also see it written as 3.5. But most people will leave that as 7 over 2. I took that divided by 2. Now to find the long leg from the short leg, you just take the short leg with the square root of 3. So I'm just going to put 7 over 2 square root of 3. and that will go, this goes here. On C, we have 30, 90. That makes this 60. 30, this would be my short leg. This is my hypotenuse. And if that's the short leg, this is the long leg. And the long leg always has that square root of 3 in it. So, if this is 5 square root of 3, to get the hypotenuse, I multiply it by 2. So I have to ask myself, what is 5 square root of 3 times 2? So what is 5 square root of 3 times 2? Well, when I multiply these, I can't do 3 times 2. 3 is in the radical, 2 is not. But I can take 5 times 2. So that would be 10 square root of 3. And then to find the long leg, you take the short leg with the square root of 3. So you take 5 square root of 3 times square root of 3. So we're going to take 5 square root of 3 times square root of 3. Now here, square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3, because you could go 3 times 3 is 9, square root of 9 is 3, so this just becomes 5 times 3, which is 15. So the long leg is just 15. On this problem, we have 90, we have 60, this is 30. Short leg's always across from 30, so this is my short leg. That would be my long leg. And this is my hypotenuse. So it's easiest to get your short leg first. Short leg is always hypotenuse divided by 2. So now you have to ask yourself, what is 8 square root of 2 divided by 2? And 8 square root of 2 divided by 2, 8 divided by 2 is 4. So I found the short leg is 4 square root of 2. Once you know the short leg, to find the long leg, you take the short leg times square root of 3. So I need to take 4 square root of 2 times square root of 3. And that's a 2. Looks like a Z. It's supposed to be a 2. Here, we have 2 times 3 makes 6, so I'll say 4 square root of 6. And 6 can't be broken down because 6 is just 2 times 3, there's no pairs. So my long leg is 4 square root of 6. My short leg is 4 square root of 2. And here's my hypotenuse. We have 30. That must be 60. This 30, 60, 90 adds up to 180. Short leg's always across from 30, so this is my short leg. That'd be my long leg. And this will be my hypotenuse. Okay, starting off with the long leg is probably the hardest, because it's the short leg times square root of 3. So to go from long leg to short leg, that's the hardest thing that could happen. Let's see, how do you go from long leg to short leg? To find the short leg, you divide the long leg by square root of 3. Okay? So I need to take long leg, 9 divided by square root of 3. That's a 9 divided by square root of 3. So to find the short leg, you take the long leg divided by square root of 3. Now, you can't leave square root in the radical. This is called rationalizing. So you may not remember, but we spent a day on this. You multiply by square root of 3 over square root of 3, because that's 1. Square root of 3 divided by square root of 3 is 1. Now let's see what happens. If I take square root of 3 times square root of 3, the square roots cancel, and I just get 3. If I take 9 times square root of 3, that does not become 27, because 9 is not in the radical, 3 is, so this becomes 9 square root of 3. Make my fraction a little bit bigger. And then 9 divided by 3 reduces. 9 divided by 3 is 3. That becomes 3 square root of 3. That's my short leg. Now I know the short leg is 3 square root of 3. To find my hypotenuse, you take the short leg times 2. So I'm going to take 3 square root of 3 times 2. That becomes 6 square root of 3. We have 30, 90, that leaves this as 60. This would be my short leg over here. So this is my long leg. And this would be my hypotenuse. So I'm starting with the short leg. To go from short leg to hypotenuse, I multiply by 2. So I could do that in my head, 4 square root of 3 times 2, but I'm still going to show my work. That'd be 4. Wow, undo. 4 square root of 3 times 2, which is 4 times 2 is 8, so that'd be 8 square root of 3. To find my long leg from my short leg, I multiply by square root of 3. So I need to take 4 square root of 3 times square root of 3. Square root of 3 times square root of 3 is just 3, so this is really what's 4 times 3. And 4 times 3 is 12. So my long leg is 12. My hypotenuse is 8 square root of 3. And my short leg is 4 square root of 3.